Alright everybody, how y'all doing and welcome to my channel. Yesterday was a good day. We all saw what AMD finna great to do for Q3 of this year. And we was excited. I was pretty much overwhelmed to see and hear new lineups coming out. With the 6000 series MUs, which are mobile units. So I was happy to figure out to see that. You know, they went over their little gaming laptops, and one of our big time leading manufacturers is coming up with their very own gaming laptop. Yes, these laptops will be the Lenovo Legion Slim 7 16-inch laptop. And then you got your Meta MacBook, which will be coming out with your RYZEN PC laptops, as well as your Omen 16 laptops, as well as the newbie on the block. Yes, Corsair for to come out with their own very first gaming laptop is the Corsair Voyager, which was pretty exciting as they went ahead on presenting those laptops. Now, if you want to go ahead on and get you the 6000 series MUs, they are available in stores now. So go out there and get those 6000 MUs with your mobile units. To all gaming fanatics that like to go ahead and carry everything on the go, especially when they're on their vacation, cannot miss on their latest game and stream strong and game hard. Alrighty, but the main topic of the event, which I was very excited of, is the AM5 motherboards as well as the Ryzen 7000 CPU, which will also be an APU as well too, with the RDNA 2 architect inside the CPU. Now, when they did that, I was shocked, and we can all say AMD is controlling the future of our technology. Yes, let's go ahead on and get into the presentation of everything. So when they come out in Q3, they're coming out this year. We could all be excited, and we could all look forward to what they have to offer for us tech enthusiasts and PC builders for the future. Alrighty. The future of Ryzen LGA 1718 is here. The next frontier of the Ryzen motherboards. Socket AM5 infrastructure, 1718 pin LGA socket, which is good that they're going to this LGA socket, which they're gonna go ahead on and finally get away from the pins. Now, y'all keep in mind, they did the LG sockets with the Threadrippers CPUs. Yes, we had the pin arrays on the motherboard. That was pretty much awesome. But then they came out, they strayed away from it into the AM4. They stuck with it as they did with the AM3, the AM2, the socket 754, the socket 462, and so on. But now they say we could go ahead and do better, and they are. So now, just keep in mind that y'all going to the 1718 pin LGA socket. It native supports up to 170 watt thermal design power. Whether you are overclocking it or you just a non-overclocker like me and say, you know what, I'm happy. I don't have to buy a beef chunk CPU cooler that's going to handle over the clocking speed. It's already set at 170 watts. And that's a good thing that AMD has decided, is how much power do you need just to run your simple basic programs like OBS, Epic Games, Steam Games, Adobe when you do your productivity work. How much power do you need just to run simple basic programs? And this is one thing why I kind of like AMD more, because they just focus on basic, simple, and less power hungry. Like Intel did when they came out with a 12900KS, a power hungry CPU that don't make no damn sense. Now, the motherboard supports DDR5 and PCIe 5.0 support. And keep in mind, you don't have to throw away your old coolers. You can go ahead and take your AM4 coolers and fit it to this motherboard here, because they are compatible with socket AM4 coolers, which that is a good thing to hear. You had to worry about junking hardware. Oh my gosh, well, this is not fitting. Like when the LGA 1700s came out by Intel, they had to include the bracket you had to buy separately just to go ahead and fit certain coolers to attach to the motherboard. In this case, AMD say, hey, you can still use the same AM4 cooler as well as the new coolers that's coming out for this motherboard. Now let's jump right into the CPU. The Ryzen 7000 CPU Zen 4 cores are here. Zen 4 cores architecture is 2 times 1 megabyte per core L2 cache. It is 15% single thread uplift. It has a 5 gigahertz max boost. That is per pressure. So you ain't gotta worry about if you want to overclock it and probably get 5.3 or 5.5, that's up to you. But me, as a simple basic user, 5 gigahertz is good for me when it reach that level. Now it has expanded instructions, AI acceleration. So that's a good thing to know with the CPU. Also, Dr. Su also mentioned that they are going to put the RDNA 2 APU in the 7000 series. So yes, they're going to have some APUs as well too, if you don't want to use a basic generated graphic card for the new AM5 series, which is good to hear. But moving right along, I'm happy to this 5 gigahertz max boost. Wow. And they put down 2, so it can be boosted up to higher frequencies in the boost acceleration. But that's good to know that as well, that this CPU here, it will be a beast, and this will be our CPU for the future until they come out with another one, as always. Now moving right along, the AM5 motherboard lineups, the ecosystem of the 7000 CPU. You got 3 boards that will be hitting the market in Q3. This is when they're coming out, sometime early to late fall. But we could go ahead and look for the X670 Extreme, which is unparalleled compatible, extreme overclocking, PCIe 5.0 everywhere. That's good to hear. When they come out, because they working on the PCIe 5.0 storage, so they working on them. They should be launching the same time with the motherboards. But I'll be getting to that pretty soon. The next motherboard is the X670, which is for enthusiast overclocking and has PCIe 5.0 storage and graphic. And for more of your budget-friendly, non-power hungry motherboard like the Extreme, the B650 is for us basic users. It's just it's a mainstream price point. That means it's going to be budget friendly. How much budget friendly, we won't know until August come around the corner, late fall to early as possible in Q3. But I'm glad to hear that they're making some by price point budget friendly. That's good to hear. But like I said, how much budget friendly are they going to be? They're going to be $120, $150, or $180, or $199.99. Who knows? But when they go ahead and be launched into retail stores in about 4 to 5 months, because they did say, Dr. Su did say that they are going to be released in Q3, early fall, between August to October. So yes, so tech enthusiasts out there, you got to think, do you upgrade or do you just wait for a while to go ahead on there and build? Because as we all notice that when we get new architect, you're going to have a little hiccups. So this is one reason why they've been testing them and testing them and testing them to go ahead on there and fix some of the bug issues with them. So just keep that in mind, that you might have a little hiccups with them, because you know with every new hardware there always going to be some problems. So keep that in mind. Now moving right along, and I'm excited to see the lineup of all the motherboards that is going to be launched out. Now, the Extreme flagship lineup will be available in Q3. They're going to go ahead and get those out to our extremers, because our heavy extremer who like to go ahead on and push the envelope, they go ahead on and go overclocking savvy. Go ahead on and push the envelope, crank the bar level up a little bit. So these extreme flagships will be available in Q3. Those are the ones that are going to be pushed first. Are the ASRock X670E Tachi, the ASUS ROG Crosshair X670E Extreme. One thing I love, and I love this company so much about BioStar, but one thing, every time BioStar products hit the market, they be sold out quick. And I've been trying to get me a BioStar motherboard for the longest. BioStar is releasing their X670E Valkyrie. Gigabyte jumping in with their X670E ROS Extreme. And once of all, Big Daddy MSI Meg X670E Ace. These are your extreme flagship lineup that will be hitting in Q3. And the rest of the motherboards will be coming out as well too. So we can't wait. Q3 is almost around the corner, and these motherboards are coming out. Now keep in mind, they did sit down and say PCIe 5.0 everywhere on the boards, on the extreme flagships, as well as the X670, but they working on it. So we don't know how long this PCIe 5.0 will be available, but they said possible in the launch of these here motherboards, which will be a couple of months from now. Here we go. And I can't wait to see our first M.2 5.0 that will be available, and hopefully in Q3. Alrighty, moving right along. As I was saying, last but not least, PCIe 5.0 SSDs coming soon. Building the PCIe 5.0 ecosystem, world fastest Gen 5 NVMe drives. Now, just like I said, these are supposed to be launched with the motherboards. And you got Crucial, RYZEN, Micron, Apacer, ASUS, Corsair, MSI, Seagate, Cyberent, PNY, and whatever this company is here. They're all working on this PCIe 5.0. Now keep in mind that these SSDs these NVMe's drives might be out 2 years from now. You know, we in 2022. About when they release they next CPU, they already release CPUs by every 3 to 4 months or 6 months. These should be out, I would say, sometime in 2023, towards the end of Q3 of 2023, because just like I said, you're rushing out a PCIe 5.0 ecosystem, NVMe drive, world fastest speed, as I was reading articles, which I'll be putting those in the link in the description below for y'all to click on and read. I mean, you might have hiccups with them. Some of them might have them. Just always keep in mind. And I've been noticing this since I've been a PC builder, is that new hardware will give you trouble down the line. So I'm gonna wait for a little bit to go ahead on and see how these drives be active. Now, moving right along to my final conclusion of what I think of the Computex 2022 and AMD AM5 motherboards and everything I just talked over. Alright everybody, my final thoughts of the Computex 2022. The main good thing I like about AMD is that they push in the envelope. They say, hey, we the future, we finna do this. That's a good thing about it. But here's the thing that I was kind of disappointed of. One, that they did not make two versions of the motherboards. They should have had one DDR4, because we all know DDR4 memory is still accessible, and you know you could go ahead on and push it to about 4800 megahertz or 5100 megahertz. However, but I was very disappointed just not to hear that they did not make two motherboards, one DDR5 and one DDR4, like Intel did with the LGA 1700s. So that's the big negative right there. I was looking forward to see AMD jump out with two versions of the motherboard for people who still wants to use the DDR4 memory, and the people who want to say, you know what, I enjoy DDR4, it's time to move on to better, which is the DDR5. Which the DDR5 is hard to get and it is a little pricey right now, but I was very disappointed to hear that there will be no DDR5 memory coming out. And y'all keep in mind, now I also went over the slide for the PCIe 5.0 SSD. I'm gonna be putting that up again, and we're gonna talk about it. They're coming soon. So if they don't have this NVMe drives out with the new line of LGA 1800 motherboards coming out, keep in mind that you have to go ahead and still use PCIe Gen 4.0 SSDs, as well as the GPUs, which are PCIe Gen 4.0. So there's not no leading way about. They didn't say they had a new GPU lineup coming out. The last GPU they came out with was the 6970, which was on Gen 4. So enough said. Now enough said. Would they sit down saying that it is PCIe 5.0, and they working on it? Don't expect these drives to come out anytime soon. Just and I'm feeling in my gut, because you can't rush hardware, especially hardware, without testing it. And these running through some heavy testing. Just like I said, with every new hardware that came out, and y'all take enthusiasts like me as well as others out there, they experience issues down the line where there's a new operating system coming out, having hard times trying to go ahead and figure out the BIOS of the motherboard, having hard time trying to figure out the certain speeds of certain this, how to run that. So you really get the hiccups down the line with every new piece of hardware that comes out, whether it's a GPU, CPU, NVMe, storage, whatever, whether it's a microphone, monitor, you're gonna get some kind of hiccup. Power supply, whatever, you buy a brand new power supply, even though you probably use it for basic use, and you turn it on, in about 3 minutes it go pop and everything shuts down. So with the innovation of new hardware coming out, I won't probably see these drives on the market sometime in 2023, between Q1 or Q2 era, in that little time frame slot right there, because just keep in mind, this is new. I know they've been working on it for some time, and just like I mentioned and I showed in the slide, where they had a lot of manufacturers working on these cell 5.0s, supposed to be ridiculously fast. Now Samsung has their first 5.0 SSD out, and it's insane fast, but we want the NVMe because they make your PC looks more cleaner, more sleeker, and you ain't got to worry about cables running everywhere. So this is what we want. Now, those are only two downsides I have with the new PCIe 5.0 as well as the DDR4, because AMD should have said, hey, we got the LGA 1718 out, we're going to come up with a DDR4. I was looking forward to mention a DDR4 version of this new AM5 lineup, but they didn't, and that's more of a disappointment to me, because oh hell, I just got used to my AM4 motherboard on DDR4 memory, you know, coming from DDR3, DDR2, etc. I could keep going from DDR on SATA RAM, 512 megabytes. Yes, I could keep going on and on. you know. But I was very disappointed that they only have one motherboard only for one socket memory type is the DDR5. So they're letting us all enthusiasts know that they're moving towards the future. So they're finna go ahead and jump the AM4 motherboards, which is still gonna be around. So to newcomers coming out, and they still budget friendly. So yes, AM4s will still be around. They ain't going nowhere, because they released a whole new line to the AM4s, closing out that platform there. And I don't see anybody not trying to build with the AM4 motherboard. You still can, because that's the main thing there. How price friendly are these motherboards coming up? Because we know the DDR5 memory is about $250 to $300 pops. All depends on what certified speed you're getting. And is it worth upgrading? Especially everybody built their systems now. Just like they said, and just like I'm saying right now, and just like I go ahead and put out there, every tech enthusiast, YouTube creators, are going to get their hardware sent to them. So they're going to get free hardware to us consumers like me. How budget friendly is this? And I agree with AMD. They pushing the envelope. Yes, this is the bar now. Is it the right time to move to the new generation of tech? And y'all keep that in mind as I feel go ahead and close out right now. Is it the right time to move to a new generation of tech? Oh hell, I got used to my AM4 motherboard. Ryzen 5 3600, 32 gigabyte of RAM. I'm pushing and I'm happy. So is it the right time to move forward to the future? Alright, y'all. Alright, to all my wonderful viewers out there, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.